Aloha, all you moneymakers out there. Super excited today to talk to you guys about our shopping center and share how we bought a shopping center. How did we go from nothing to buying a $6 million shopping center? It's kind of crazy to say. So let's do it. Let's dive on into it all. I told you guys that subscribe button is the only thing that's separating you from financial freedom. Because knowledge is power. I'm going to give you all the knowledge so you can succeed in life. So yeah, we bought a shopping center, a whole complex of buildings, and it's pretty cool to actually even just say it and think about it. We have an office max, we have a gym, we have a medical center, a few different doctors' offices in there, as well as like this nationwide penny spice store. It's pretty nice, actually. I like that store. A bunch of cool tenants that pay us rent. We own the building and they come in and pay us the rent. And to even top it on off, it's a triple net shopping center, meaning that the tenants are paying our taxes, they're paying our maintenance, they're paying our insurance, they're paying all our bills. So we really cut costs in this complex. But how did we do it? How did we get to that? First of all, it's how do you find a deal like that? I've been obviously looking at the deals for years and years, and we put a ton of offers out there. So it wasn't just our first shopping center, our first thing we've seen and we bought. It just happened to be this great deal that we threw a really low offer at, and I didn't think it would stick. I didn't think we would get it, but we threw this low offer at it, and it stuck, and we got it, and we bought this shopping center at a 12 cap, and for cap rates and so forth, 12 cap's really good. But a lot of times we see these great deals, and we see deals just in general coming across my desk. You know, their emails are coming through, and I'm like, yeah, here's a crazy offer. Let's see if that thing will stick. And that's basically how we get some crazy deals. Is we put a lot of these offers out there that are really aggressive in our favor, and they stick. And when they stick, then you're like, oh, okay, I better figure out how to raise capital, how to find investors, how to get a lender and get a loan, and how to figure it out. And that's kind of the simplicity of it all. We own some commercial, our co-working space is a commercial unit, so technically we do own commercial already. But I've never bought a deal this size, and I've never done a deal like that before. But just like my first step of buying a house, just like my first step of buying a bunch of houses and complexes and multifamilies, you just figure it out. You start talking to lenders, you start talking to banks, talking to friends. How do I go about, getting the loan? How do I structure it? And how do I make it happen? And that's how we did it. We already knew how to manage commercial in general because multifamily is very similar. Compared to single family world, in the multifamily and the commercial world, it's all about your NOI and expenses and so forth. And we already knew how to analyze a deal. So now it's how to make this deal work, how to make this deal add value, how to make this deal raise rents and so forth. And we're excited to where this deal is heading because after showing up the property, I've seen so much amazing just goodness about the deal. So it wasn't, we were just looking in Janesville. We weren't just looking in Wisconsin. We weren't just looking anywhere. We were looking for a good deal. And we own properties across the U.S. already. So out of state investing, it was already comfortable in our lap. It could be hard at first for some people to get into out of state investing. But once you get, that comfort level, you find a great team, you understand how to build that team, build that property management, agents, contractor, whoever you need to build. You just build a team around that if you need to. So what's the big difference between this commercial deal and compared to flipping or compared to even in a regular single family houses? So this is commercial. Commercial, the big difference is in a fix and flip or just in residential in general, we add value by putting new floors, roofs, new kitchen. That's how we're forcing appreciation. That's how we're adding value. In the commercial world, the value added, yes, you'll make new roofs and new floors and new whatever, making unit nice. In this commercial unit, for example, you can make the units nice, but the value is when you get the rents, the income increased, and your expenses decreased. So that gives you your NOI. That's where you can add value, from multifamily to commercial to storage to industrial. The value is in your NOI. So we've really seen a great opportunity to value add in this particular project, and that's where our value is. Just like a fix and flip, we see value being able to add it in. Oh, we can make this kitchen nicer, newer, or update it, or add square footage. In the commercial world, oh, we see these tenants are really well below, 10 tenant rates, what they should be at. We can add value in that way. So the value add is in, can you raise rents? Can you lower expenses? And that's how you basically analyze a deal, and the simplicity of it all. Of course, it's a lot more complex than that, but that's what you're understanding in your head, what you're really ultimately looking for. You do look for a lot of other things, into the deal and every person or investor is different, of course. Other things. It's a B class property. It's not the A perfect, nice, brand new property. This is a B class property. It's a really decent, nice size property. So these B classes will last for a long time. You can bring it up to an A class, obviously, if we spend more work, spend more money on it. But B classes are pretty good. There is a lot of easiness to being a triple net. So we mentioned earlier about triple net, and triple net properties, basically, they kind of self-run themselves. These big tenants will pay for most of the work or anything that needs to be done, or any, the ACs or a leaking roof even, the things like that are all taken care of the tenants. So triple net really makes the management. We do have a property management company, and they're great. Cal and Rob and their team, we have a really, really great property management guys, and I'm super excited to be a part of them. But I do want to, of course, know every single thing going on. We micromanage. I want to be involved, and we know we have meetings, and we normally discuss every little thing. We micromanage the hell out of them, because ultimately, it's our money at stake. So you do want to be involved. You don't want to just forget it. So it's a lot of knowing what's going on and keep following up with them to make sure it's going in the right direction. And a huge thing for property management that we look for actually is a property management company that is going to be very aware of the profit and loss. We don't care. Yes, you're supposed to go fix that broken sink or toilet, but my conversations are, can we increase expenses? Decrease expenses, increase the rents. I want to know about your P&Ls. I want to know about the property P&Ls. That's what the job of the good property management company is to focus on that, because the more money they can make for the property, obviously they make more money, as well as the owners and everything are more happy as well when they can increase values of properties. So that's a huge part of it. So your property management company is definitely a huge key role into anything you do out of state, or even in state. You really want to have a good team on that side. And so you vet, and we called probably about 10 different property management companies until I found, a good one that I really, really liked. So what were some obstacles we faced? Huge obstacles we faced is our market shifted as we're in the middle of buying this huge asset, and lenders and banks tightening up and change. And this is commercial, so they're really, really a lot more tight about it. So first lender literally got 3 months in, and they pulled out of the deal and couldn't lend on it, and we had to switch up to a second lender. That lender went through its terms and went down the underwriting phase of it all, and changed their terms on us 3 times throughout that deal. And changing their terms just kept on making it worse for us. Obviously, we had to raise more capital. Then we had to pivot to this and that. And actually, ultimately, we actually didn't even fund with that lender. We went to our third and last private equity fund that actually ended up funding and closing on this deal just to get it closed. And so we have an interest reserve and we have money set up in an account. So this is really well established for the next 6 months. We don't have to kind of worry in a sense. And now 6 months we're raising rents and we're doing our thing with this property, and then we can refinance it out and bring in a new loan. So that's what our plan is on this property. Is once the rents and everything are kicked in, are raised, then we can go back and we can go say, hey, bank, we got so much more value now because our rents are up. What's our new valuation of this property? And we anticipate it from the appraisal actually stating it'll be about an $8.5 million valuation of this property. So once all our rents are kicked in, we'll have an $8.5 million valuation. Our actual purchase price was it was $5.8 million, but we had 300 credits, so it's about $5.5 million for this property, and with an 8.3 evaluation of this property, we can go back, refinance, take out all our money, investors' money, pay everybody out. We probably will go into a higher interest rate because our rates are high right now, of course. But in 2 to 3 years, we'll do another quick rate and term loan where we'll just swap out into a lower rate and then let that property live in its final loan. So this is, when we buy these big assets, they're not just like, oh, I'm over the night success kind of thing. These are a long haul. These are a long process to get them to where you're really, really cash flowing. They don't just cash flow day one. I mean, you can buy things that cash flow day one, of course. But obviously you're going to be buying it differently. This cash flow is day one, yes, but it's not the cash flow day one where I want it with no money into these deals and into a cheap loan, like where we can get really, really good cash flow into it all. So yeah, technically it does cash flow now, but it's not the final resting place, I should say. So these properties, we bought a huge complex in Connecticut, similar, where it takes 6 months to a year to stabilize or raise rents or do what you need to do to the properties, from fixing it to adding value to these properties. And then you got to go through the loan process with the banks, and that can take 2-3 months there. So you're working with the banks and the refinance processes, and then being that we're in a kind of a not good real estate market right now, we're not going to get the best loans out there. We'll get the best possible loan today's market, but that's not a loan that we really want to sit in or live in for a long time. So we'll wait till market comes back around, and then we can do a rate and term loans. And rate and term loans are just like a like for like loan. Basically, you're swapping out your existing loan to a cheaper loan. So we'll look for a rate and term loans once that's available. Just to have a nice resting place of a loan, basically, to enjoy the cash flow of the property, really. So it's not an easy, like, just wham, bam, boom kind of thing. It takes a process. It takes a lot of time, energy, thought. We have lawyers involved. We have agents involved. We have, of course, property management involved, escrows. There's a lot of people involved on these properties just to purchase it, to stabilize it, to get them into its final resting place. So on paper, it looks cool, but we're not there where obviously we want to be there yet. And we're just trying to get these things stabilized so they can, really cash flow for us. And that's what we're ultimately looking for, is cash flow. Some people do buy these assets and they do flip them. They do flip them, believe it or not. So they are a potential good flip as well. But we are looking more for cash flow for our long-term kind of play in life. So there's big numbers involved. Big numbers definitely involved. Our income is raising from $40,000 a month to $70,000 a month just in its gross income. I think it will be actually at closer to 80 to 90,000 a month when we're finally said and done with raises of rents and including triple net and everything. Will be have a very good income. So yes, it's not easy, but once you start understanding the process and understanding the behind the scenes of it all, it does flow together all in your head. Maybe that's just for me, how I look at it. I have it all on paper, I have it all on Excel sheets, but I just have it all in my head, just flowing. It's weird, like I can be lying at night and I just see it all kind of coming together, and the steps and the processes and the numbers. I'm a numbers guy, so I see it all in my head, like one of those crazy movies. You see the numbers and it just flows, it clicks for me in my head, and that's just, I guess, my nature. So what did I learn from this deal? Learned a lot. The one big thing to learn is with working with lenders on commercial deals, and not to just have one lender going, is to have multiple lenders, or even go down the route of having two appraisals paid for and going with two different lenders going. Luckily, the seller gave us more time, but he could have ultimately, cashed out on us and took his money, took their deposits. But I would always make sure you have backup, backup lenders, of course, going, because they're hard. Commercial is very an animal. So we did talk to multiple lenders and get quotes and kind of have them run down the rabbit hole, but I didn't actually pay for appraisals, because once you pay for appraisal, you're kind of committed to that lender. You're paying a lot. Appraisals cost a lot, especially in commercial. I think it was, I don't know, $5-6 grand for, I think, appraisals on this one. So the appraisals are, can cost a lot. Some of them are, I think we did appraisal one time, it was like 27 grand for a complex we were buying. We were buying another 3 commercial deal, and we paid 27 grand for an appraisal. So appraisals are not cheap. But ultimately, appraisal is kind of like your everything on it. It's like what the lender thinks. You can see a lot of everything. Appraisal is kind of like your heart and soul of the deal, if what the numbers really look like, and they're great for you to use. Big learning curve is, I guess, the lender part of it all. Having that in play. And then for us, we had to raise capital, and then we had to raise more last minute because of the changes in loan. So just having more raised, I think at the beginning, have more committed, even if like a soft commitment from people, I think would be key to do, and to have more lenders just ready to go instead of waiting last minute for the added loans we had to get. Because initially we raised and we had enough, but then with the terms changing, it was just very difficult to do last minute, of course. So in this segment, we have a question, and one of the questions is, why would you want to go into commercial real estate when regular housing flipping is already going so well? So it's just different animals, I should say. We flip houses, and that's great, but that's a job that takes work, time, energy, money. We love it. We're great at it. Commercial and multifamily is more of our passive income play, and ultimately they could be long-term flips. So real estate in general are all forms of flips a lot of times, from owning it for 10 years to owning it for 1 year to owning it for 20 years. All essentially could be flips into how you think of it. So the commercial real estate is just a bigger play on one project, where these bigger projects you can really get a really good cash flow from buying one big thing compared to trying to buy 100 houses or something like that. So you can get a really good income from just one property, a lot easier to manage, of course. So the management of it all is really a lot easier, even if this were, single family homes or multifamily. Just being that you're triple net, the management of it all is very comes into play. And then the tenants that we have behind this are long-term tenants and will be there for a long time, which is a huge part of our play, where we're looking for tenants that will be there for, long time to come. And that's what we're also doing to the building. We're also going to revamp the building to we're actually kind of going for health and wellness, because a lot of our clients are, we got gyms and doctors, and we're actually bringing in switching up to a cold plunge kind of thing. This health and wellness kind of environment, I feel like, is all around this. So we're kind of going with that theme of the property, as well as we're going to clean it up, fix it up, and all that stuff. We actually even rent out our parking lot to a farmer who sells products at our parking lot. So he rents it for $1,000. So that's also more income. We also actually are renting out a portion of our parking lot to the shopping center, the grocery store that's anchor. They're called shadow anchors to us. So this grocery center is also going to be paying us more rent to use their parking stalls. So that's a huge thing, because we want to increase the income. So that's the ultimate goal of these property: more income, more money that we all see in our pockets from everybody. And it's a great asset to own for long term. These are just stable assets compared to a single family house. Of course, it's a different animal. They're both great. It's just you can do a lot more with one big property compared to trying to get to that size of income with a lot of single family houses. It just, once you're comfortable understanding the differences, they're both the same. They're both the same in its own animal, but it just, you can scale quicker, I guess you can say. So segment 2, we have event of the week coming up. We have a meetup. We have a meetup on July 28th at 5 p.m. So anyone want to come out, July 28th at 5 p.m. And this is a beautiful flip we did on the water at the marina, and it's got its own pool. It's a really pretty house. It's at 6847 Ni'imalu Loop. It's a $3 million house. So come check out that house in general. We'll be talking about flips. If you have any questions about this particular deal, I'd love to talk to you about this deal. I mean, I'll talk about any form of real estate if you want to talk. That's what I love talking about. No signups, just stop by, show up, talk story. It's more of a get together, a flip, showcase some of the flips we've done, and to just have great networking. I want to have high level people coming into our networking and just to share with each other. I think you guys can all benefit from that as well. Super excited, this commercial deal. To understand commercial is a lot, but it's just a different animal. 3 big things you want to understand, by the way, in commercial are NOI, net operating income, your cap rate. Cap rate's kind of your average or comps of the area, what things are selling for generally in that area, and of course the value then, the value of the property, purchase price of the property. So those are kind of your big numbers you'll hear kind of playing in that world. Income, expenses. It's almost like a business. I think real estate people are generally running businesses. Come to our meetup, check it out. Check out our $3.2 million flip, and come hang out, talk story, network. I bring high-level people for you guys, so come please share your experiences, strength, and hope, and I'll see you guys soon. And thank you guys for liking and subscribing and commenting below. We really appreciate it. If you don't ask questions, you don't learn. So just feel free to ask questions and share our stuff if you can. I really appreciate it, because if you share our stuff, we can help that more people out there and give other people the opportunity to learn and to help bring up our education and bring up our state. I really want to give back to our state and our people and help our community. So please share our stuff just for other people out there that be interested in, learning some of the, underlining things about commercial real estate, money, different forms of businesses and so forth. So love for you guys to learn and love to keep growing. So thank you guys. Like and comment below. Indar Hawaii, follow me on all the socials, Indar Hawaii on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll see you later. Aloha.